2 days after being suspended by the leader of the Legislative Assembly, Sasikala Natarajan, as the party's treasurer, former Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Panneer Selvam insisted that he will remain in the post and wrote to 2 regional banks in the state not to permit anyone to operate the party accounts without his consent. Earlier on Wednesday, Panneer Selvam wrote to the banks, and I quote, "In accordance with Bylaw 20, Subclause 5 in the party constitution, continuance of my appointment as treasurer as AIADMK party by Purachi Thalavi Amma, I request you not to permit anyone else to operate our AIADMK's party's current account without my written consent and instructions," unquote. Earlier on Tuesday night, Panneer Selvam was sacked by the AIADMK treasurer by Sasikala, following his revelations that he was under tremendous pressure from Sasikala Natarajan to resign as the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister.
The number, anybody can claim that they have the numbers, but there is a proper system for proving majority. Either the governor should have a head count, or the majority should be proved in the floor of the house. That is the way. That is the only way where we can ensure majority support. So as long as both the things are not happening, it is just a claim by both the parties. That's all.
What is the governor doing? For the last 2 days, all these things are going on. The governor is not at all coming to the state. The governor should have immediately rushed to Tamil Nadu, taken note of the situation. Constitutionally, he should have acted. Tamil Nadu people, the only way out will be, the mandate was only for Jayalalithaa. After Jayalalithaa, if at all anyone wants to continue, there must be unanimity and there must be a single voice.
Joining me right now is my colleague and WION's correspondent, Nishchita Virendra. She is right outside Poise Garden in Chennai, getting us the latest on that story. Nishchita, obviously this latest gauntlet being thrown down by Mr. Panneer Selvam by saying that he is still the treasurer of the party and has all rights is obviously going to change the conversation regarding what's expected from the governor today as well. Give us a little bit more on that story. What are you picking up there on the ground?
Well, as far as Panneer Selvam's claims are concerned, he is using a technicality of the bylaws of the AIADMK party by saying that he continues to be the treasurer of the party as per the rules and bylaws. The general secretary has still not been appointed despite the MLAs, the party cadres coming together and unanimously choosing her as the general secretary in December last year. As far as the governor is concerned, Aisha, he's expected to take a flight back to Chennai at around 3:10 in the afternoon is what is being stated, and probably that could put an end to the suspense that has prevailed over who really has the majority. Let's not forget that similar claims have been made by both VK Sasikala as well as Panneer Selvam since yesterday, while VK Sasikala had over 120 members of the Legislative Assembly inside the AIADMK headquarters who were eventually bundled up and taken to an undisclosed location, presumably because of the fear of horse trading. On the other hand, Panneer Selvam went on to say that many of these MLAs are in touch with him over phone and that they are not really in support of VK Sasikala, and he can prove the majority on the floor of the house, and as per rules that's really what matters. Even if the parade is done before the governor, even if Sasikala manages to show 120 MLAs before the governor, it is the floor test that will really decide.
Right. Nishchita, stay with us a bit. There are a couple of more questions I have for you, but I'd also like to show our viewers that how Panneer Selvam did speak to the media at his Chennai residence on Wednesday, a day after he claimed that he was forced to step down in order to make way for Sasikala Natarajan to become the Chief Minister. Let's listen in to what Mr. Panneer Selvam had to say.
அனைத்து இந்திய அண்ணா திராவிட முன்னேற்ற கழகத்தினர் 135 சட்டமன்ற உறுப்பினர்களும் உறுதியாக எனக்கு ஆதரவு தந்து கொண்டிருக்கிறார்கள்.
So, are you getting any support from BJP, Prime Minister, or NDA?
பாரதிய ஜனதா கட்சி மத்தியில் ஆளுகின்ற நிலையில் இருக்கிறது. நாங்கள் இங்கே மாநிலத்தில் ஆளுகின்ற நிலையில் இருக்கின்றோம். ஏற்கனவே மாண்புமிகு இதய தெய்வம் புரட்சி தலைவி அம்மா அவர்கள் தமிழக மக்களுடைய உரிமைகளுக்கு நாங்கள் தொடர்ந்து குரல் கொடுப்போம். பங்கம் ஏற்படுகின்ற பொழுது அதனுடைய நியாயத்தை நாங்கள் எடுத்துச் சொல்வோம். மக்களுக்கு ஏற்றுக்கொள்ளக்கூடிய திட்டங்களைத்தான் நாங்கள் வரவேற்போம். மக்களுக்கு விரோதமாக இருக்கின்ற திட்டங்களை மத்தியில் யார் ஆட்சியில் இருந்தாலும் நாங்கள் அதை எதிர்ப்போம் என்று சொல்கிறார். அதே நிலைதான் எங்களுக்கும்.
So how many MLAs you are expecting to come with you, sir?
சட்டமன்ற உறுப்பினர் அனைவருமே எங்களோடு தான் இருக்கிறார்கள்.
So how much support do you have from public? You must have talked to many people across Tamil Nadu.
இன்றைக்கு இருக்கின்ற சூழ்நிலையில் தமிழகத்தினுடைய பொதுமக்கள் அனைத்து இந்திய அண்ணா திராவிட முன்னேற்ற கழகத்தினுடைய புரட்சி தலைவர் எம்ஜிஆர் அவருடைய ரத்தத்தின் ரத்தங்களாக என்ற மாண்புமிகு அம்மா அவர்கள் தங்களுடைய ஒவ்வொரு உரையிலும் சொல்வார்களே, அந்த கட்சியினுடைய ஆணிவராக விளங்கிக் கொண்டிருக்கின்ற செயல் வீரர்கள் அனைவரும் அன்பை நாங்கள் பெற்றிருக்கிறோம்.
Last question, sir. Like you said, you will order a probe on Jayalalitha's death, proper retired judge.
திரும்ப திரும்ப ஏற்கனவே மற்ற டிவி சேனலுக்கு சொன்ன பதிலையே உங்களுக்கு பதிலாக நீங்கள் எடுத்துக்கொள்ளும் என்று உங்களை கேட்டுக்கொள்கிறேன்.
As the battle for the throne in Tamil Nadu is getting tougher, the Tamil Nadu Governor Vidyasagar Rao will be holding meetings with the AIADMK General Secretary Sasikala Natarajan and party MLAs on Thursday. Rao, who has an additional charge of Maharashtra, said that he was aware that Tamil Nadu has been rocked by a lot of political activities in recent days. According to sources, the former Chief Minister Panneer Selvam is likely to meet the governor early on Tuesday. Early on Tuesday, though, Panneer Selvam was sacked by Sasikala as the party treasurer. She also dismissed the IT wing secretary and Panneer Selvam loyalist G. Ramachandran from his post. Let's go back to my colleague Nishtita Virendra. She joins us live from Chennai right now. Nishtita, obviously there's a lot riding on that meeting between the Governor Vidyasagar Rao and the Sasikala Natarajan camp. But as it plays out, how much of a benefit is Mr. Panneer Selvam going to derive from this delay in any sort of pronouncement being made by the governor? I'm looking at his Twitter feed and he's constantly bringing up mentions of the MLAs who are on his side. So is this time going to give him the benefit, and how exactly do you see this playing out?
Well, definitely the more Governor Vidyasagar Rao's decision is delayed, the more he delays the entire process, the more advantageous it is for Panneer Selvam. Now, at the moment, as far as the numbers on the Legislative Assembly is concerned, it seems to be firmly in the kitty of VK Sasikala. She's also given a proposal, the MLAs rather, have also given a proposal to the Governor saying that VK Sasikala is ready to be sworn in. But the Governor has delayed the process further by not coming down to Chennai. Now, today in the evening, he's expected to arrive in Chennai, and even if he does meet with VK Sasikala and accepts the proposal and witnesses the parade, the real test will be on the floor of the House. And if he accepts Panneer Selvam's claim that he has the majority MLAs and that the MLAs who are supporting Sasikala are being forced to do so, then once again it is the floor test that will prove to be the game changer. Now, the tricky part here, Aisha, is the fact that the governor gets to decide when this floor test will be held. If he manages to delay the floor test by a few more days, and if the disproportionate assets case comes out, then clearly it is game over for Sasikala. Sasikala cannot contest elections if the disproportionate assets case verdict goes against her. She will not be able to contest elections for 6 years after the date of release. And even if the DA case verdict does not go against her, we are seeing a slow, gradual popularity that Panneer Selvam seems to be enjoying, but at the same time a massive sympathy wave that is in his favor as far as the people of the state are concerned. So these MLAs are no fools either. While on one hand, yes, they are AIADMK loyalists, they are supporting Sasikala because she was close to Jayalalithaa, but on the other hand, they also understand the public sentiment. The public seems to be clearly in favor of Panneer Selvam, and the proof of that for the rest of the nation is what comes through on social media. Soon after, we saw hashtags like #NotMyCM trending. As soon as O. Panneerselvam emerged the night before yesterday with his claims, and even after his yesterday's press conference, there were hashtags like OPSMyCM that were trending on Twitter and other social media. So yes, the MLAs will also probably deflect, more and more MLAs could deflect to O. Panneerselvam's camp if the governor manages to delay the process of the floor test.
All right, and Nishita, stay with us. Interesting factors being brought up by you, especially when it comes to the factor of social media. But I'm just going to take another look at another story, because the AIADMK leader, Thambidurai, along with 13 party MLAs, left for the national capital on Wednesday night to hold talks with the President Pranab Mukherjee amid the ongoing political crisis in Tamil Nadu. Earlier on Tuesday, Thambidurai had dismissed the claim of former Chief Minister O. Selvam that he was forced to resign. Thambidurai insisted that the AIADMK General Secretary Sasikala Natarajan will triumph against all odds.
They are having already majority. Only you want to represent the Rashtrapati. I already resigned.
Okay.
What is the use of speaking about him? Already resigned, accepted by the governor.
Okay.
Then what he will prove?
Let's go back to Nishita Virendra, who's standing by with us from Chennai. Nishita, you brought up an interesting fact again from Mr. Panneerselvam's Twitter feed. He's actually pinned a tweet regarding a People's survey saying that 95% of people have answered in the affirmative when asked the question, should the Honorable CM continue the post to lead Tamil Nadu? So obviously he's banking on the people's support and hoping that this public sentiment will be able to sway the MLAs into his camp. But as far as this stance by the MLAs goes, as we stand right now, why this staunch support for Sasikala Natarajan when clearly the people seem to be on OPS's side?
Well, the elections have just concluded, Aisha. Had this confusion taken place closer to the elections or at the end of the term of the AIADMK, we would have seen a whole different scenario. We would have seen the MLAs really siding O. Panneerselvam, and we can say it with quite a bit of confidence because even Beyond's ground report has gone on to show that the majority of the common man on ground, the voters, the electorate are in favor of O. Panneerselvam taking over as the Chief Minister, and still look at VK Sasikala with utmost suspicion and also point fingers that she's not really given the people an opportunity to choose her, and that she has gone ahead and claim to form the government without really going through the test of democracy. Even the AIADMK understands that. Just a few minutes back, he went on to mention how Thambidurai and other MPs have arrived in Delhi and will most likely be interacting with the president, asking him to pressurize the governor to take a call and give the green signal for Sasikala's swearing in, as she is already showing that she has the numbers on her side. But you can see the insecurity creeping in within the AIADMK for VK Sasikala as well, sending these MPs across to Delhi. In fact, if reports are anything to go by, even the MLAs were expected to go and parade in front of the president, but that is something that was rejected by the president. He said that he does not want the parade to happen inside the Rashtrapati Bhavan and that the MPs are enough to come and interact with him. Apart from that, we also understand the fact that these MLAs who have supported Sasikala, if the MLAs are as staunch as the party claims them to be, if the MLAs are as staunchly supporting Sasikala, are as confident of Sasikala's leadership as the AIADMK would want us to believe, then they wouldn't have been hoarded in an undisclosed location even as we speak.
Right.
Yesterday we saw how all of them were bundled up in buses and taken to undisclosed location, and that location has been of utmost secrecy. The AIADMK, fearing horse trading is what we can presume, is keeping these MLAs away. Also in the backdrop of Panneerselvam's claims that these MLAs are actually supporting him, and that truth will come out on the floor of the House.
All right, lots of intrigue there as far as what's going on in Tamil Nadu goes. Stay with us a bit longer, Nishchita. Just going to turn our attention to something else that took place early on Wednesday. We did speak to the AIADMK leader, Dr. V. Maitrayan, an O. Panneerselvam loyalist, and this is what he had to say.
It is not the question of how many MLAs or MPs. It is a question of how the people, the sentiments of the people of Tamil Nadu and the cadre of AIADMK at the grassroots. and the overwhelming support which the cadre of AIADMK and the people of Tamil Nadu have given to OPS is simply astounding. So that is the sense of the state. Upon the governor's agenda, if he requests OPS to be seen, OPS will go and see. Otherwise, what the governor decides is his prerogative. We don't see any surprise. We feel that we are confident OPS will continue to be the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu.
Okay, let's go back to Nishchita Virendra, who's standing by in Chennai to give us more on that story. Nishchita, so it all comes down really, it boils down to the numbers game, and clearly Sasikala Natarajan at this point in time seems to hold the trump card as far as those numbers go. But as you're pointing out, there are murmurs, of course, that, this might just be lip service, and that when it comes to the floor test, things might turn out very differently. Give us a little bit more perspective on that. What are you hearing in terms of loyalists within the Sasikala camp who are actually sort of on the edge, not certain of which side they really want to go to?
Well, these MLAs who are supporting AIADMK could be supporting them, could be supporting Sasikala, I beg your pardon, for multiple reasons. One, as far as the cadres of the AIADMK are concerned, they have been trained in a military fashion to follow the supreme leader, no matter what comes their way. Two, the elections have just concluded in 2016, and in another 4 years, there's another 4 years term left, and the MLAs would want to be on the winning side, would want to continue in the side that that appears to form the government at the moment. As I mentioned earlier, had this taken place towards the end of the term, probably we would have seen a whole different scenario. But the MLAs also understand that if the public sentiment is with Panneer Selvam, and if he's coming out, someone as docile and as someone as devout as Panneer Selvam is coming out and speaking up against VK Sasikala, making allegations like he was forced to step down, he was insulted when he was the chief minister, and that Jayalalithaa had wanted him to become the chief minister and had wanted another senior leader, Madhusudanan, to take over as the general secretary and not VK Sasikala. Based on these claims, the public sympathy for him has only been on the rise. So if not now, then 4 years later, these MLAs as well as VK Sasikala are expected to pay a heavy price when the elections come about, giving an undue advantage to the opposition, in this case the DMK. So the MLAs too understand that. Now what holds key is the delay in which the floor test will be held, and that key is being held by our governor. Now we have seen in the past in India, but many years ago, probably a couple of decades ago, how the governor indirectly through the central government would fire and hire chief ministers as and when they pleased. But a couple of landmark judgments coming in from the Supreme Court, the first one being in 1994 itself, went on to show how the assembly is supreme. So this time too, the Tamil Nadu assembly will be proving why they are supreme, and that is the reason why the floor test is extremely crucial. If the governor manages to give enough time to Panneer Selvam to garner that support, to convince these MLAs to side him and not her, then definitely it will be Panneer Selvam going all the way. Also, if he manages to cause enough damage that both of them, both VK Sasikala and Panneer Selvam, cannot prove majority on the floor of the House, the governor can go ahead and place the legislative in suspended animation, thereby imposing precedence rule. So either way, it is disadvantage VK Sasikala. Third point that seems to be working against her is the disproportionate assets case verdict. Right. If that goes against her, then it will spell doom for her political career that she is so aggressively aspiring for at the moment.
Absolutely, Nishchita. Thanks for breaking down those options for us. But we've spoken at length about Sasikala Natarajan, but there's another man who has sort of captured the attention of not just the state, but the entire nation with the way he's come forward and changed his attitude and stance toward holding on to that powerful post of the Chief Minister of the state. During Jayalalitha's time, he was the obedient backroom boy, stepping into his leader's shoes when called upon to do so. For a while, he looked like extending the same courtesy to Chinnamma until Tuesday night, that is. Now, Panneer Selvam, the meek, turned Mr. Ambitious virtually overnight. Here's his story.
In Tamil Nadu, Panneer Selvam, or OPS, is also known as UPS, uninterrupted power supply. After all, he kept the governance going even in the absence of Jayalalithaa. But all that changed on Tuesday night as the man who stayed in the shadows and in the back rooms emerged to assert himself, an explosive moment in state politics. So how and why did Panneer Selvam change? It was probably the realization that he could be his own man, now that Jayalalithaa was no longer around. In fact, his 2-month tenure has been a record of impressive governance. There were no untoward incidents in the aftermath of Jaya's death. He even spoke to Chandrababu Naidu for release of Krishna River waters. The Jallikat crisis was handled largely successfully by his administration, and he even handled the spill in Marina Beach in Chennai. That record in just 2 months appears to have given him the confidence to push for a full term as Chief Minister. And the only way he could do that was by spilling the beans on Sasikala and denying her a shot at the Chief Minister's post. The celebrations outside his residence after his revolt and the public adulation drives home the important message that the backroom boy is now a player in Tamil Nadu's political centre stage and looks like he's there to stay. Bureau Report, WION.
Let's go back to Nishchita Virendra. She's standing by in Chennai. Nishchita, as far as this change in the attitude of O. Selvam goes, what are you hearing? What exactly are people attributing to that change in stance? Sunday, he goes and submits his resignation, and on Tuesday, he stakes claim to that very same position. What exactly is that? All right, I'm being told that we're still trying to re-establish connection with Nishchita. So let's move a little forward. We'll stay with Tamil Nadu though, as the political crisis in the southern state of Tamil Nadu is worsening. The opposition Congress party has come into the foray with a scathing attack on the BJP. Earlier on Wednesday, the Congress leader Randeep Surjewala had tweeted that the BJP had attained a mastery in the art of defection. However, BJP has denied all allegations, saying that they were baseless. The BJP added that the Congress is trying to shift attention away from them.
Has become a habitual offender when it comes to destabilizing elected governments. AIADMK is a rival of the Indian National Congress, but the truth is that the majority lies with AIADMK. You cannot misuse the office of governor by using him like a puppet to destabilize the elected government of Tamil Nadu.
So obviously this goes to show how the political landscape of Tamil Nadu is affecting even politics at the centre. The BJP coming out and saying all allegations are baseless, saying that they have nothing to do with what's going on in Tamil Nadu. But do remember, Panneer Selvam, in his address to the media in the morning hours of yesterday, did say that he believed that the union government stands by the people of Tamil Nadu. What can be read into that statement? The options are limitless, but a lot of political pundits are coming forward and saying that this does betray a sort of alliance of some sort between O. Selvam and the BJP government at the centre. The Congress, of course, attacking the BJP and saying that it is meddling in the politics of Tamil Nadu and should desist from doing so. That's a story we'll be tracking all through the day here on WION, but at this point it is time to wrap up this newscast. That's all we have the time for right now. Thanks so much for joining us here on WION. News and updates continue after this short break.